StrayAllDay.com.
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that? That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go make things happen instead of wait for things to happen. And then here's what I'm going to do for you. We're going to put all of these together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, techniques, and we're gonna nestle all of these all under one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Welcome to the show, and today's topic is how to start. Now, some of you who have already started, some of you who are already in the process might say, Dre, man, that's too basic. Can you telling people how to start? I'm already started, and I'm already moving, I'm already taking action. If that happens to be you, listen, you should still listen to this, because somebody's going to come to you. Since you've already started, they're going to come to you with the challenge of, how do I get started? I'm sure if you're a person who's already in action, you're already in movement, you already got people asking you how to get started. So you can use what I'm going to share here today, this framework. You could go take this and go tell other people what I just told you, or as a matter of fact, just send them the link, because I will articulate it out and give them the details. So they're going to ask you a bunch of questions on top of what you give them. I'll answer all their questions before they even ask them with this episode. So just send them the link to this episode. And for the rest of you who have not yet started, and actually, for those of you who have started, but listen, the thing that you're doing right now is probably not the last thing you're ever going to do in your life. You're going to want to start something else in life. And the challenge is, you might not know where to begin. You might not have the right information, or maybe you're just procrastinating. Maybe there's a little bit of fear of failure. Maybe there's a little bit of fear of success, which I talked about in my book, Work on Your Game. And who knows? Maybe you're just being lazy. Maybe you just feel like you don't have enough resources to even begin on the thing that you're doing, and you don't even know what resources you need. You're just stuck. So you're just sitting there like, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. And looking at my text messages, I get messages from people all the time who say, they tell me, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. They tell me their plans that they're that they're thinking about. They're not working on, but they're thinking about. And I say, okay, well, what's the next step? And one of the things that I hear all the time, I've been hearing these same, I just counted how many words it is, the same 6 words for the last 15 years online, when I ask people, okay, you told me what you wanted to do. Now my question is, where are you at in the process of doing it? I get the following answer: I don't know where to start. 6 words, I had to count them out. I don't know where to start, or I don't know where to begin. Usually to start. I'm going to tell you today what to do about that. All right, is that okay? Have I sold you enough on listening to the rest of this episode? Good. Now, before I even get into that, I send out a daily motivation text every day. This is a PSA. If you would like to receive it completely free of charge, straight to your smartphone, all you got to do is text me at my text number and let me know you want it. My number is 305-384-6894. Send me a text at that number right now, and every day you will receive a daily motivation message, text message, length message, straight to your phone, that is guaranteed to keep you focused, sharp, and on point every day, straight from me. If I could do 20 minutes on this every day, I could easily send you a text message every day. I mean, it just makes sense, right? One episode, I can give you like 30 of these. But anyway, text me at that number. Number is down below in the show notes as well. So the topic, once again, how to start. This is directed towards anyone who either needs or wants to get to taking action on something, but you have not yet begun. And that actually pretty much covers everybody on the planet, because all of us want to take action on something. Even if you got 10 things going on right now, it's probably something else you want to take action on. Maybe you want to take action on stopping something, but you need to stop, right? You need to start stopping yourself from whatever it is. So we all need this. And that's why I'm making it, because I'm reading your mind. Point number 1. Topic, once again, how to start. Number 1 thing you must do to get started. And this is in all capital letters. So I want you to hold down the shift key on your keyboard as you type this out, or just press the caps lock button one time. Here it is. Do it now. 3 words. Do it now. And that's in all capital letters. This is the number 1 point for how to start. There's a businessman named William Clement Stone, also known as W. Clement Stone. He was a business partner of Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, and one of my favorite books, The Law of Success. And also another one of my favorites, Outwitting the Devil. W. Clement Stone was more like when Napoleon Hill was falling on tough times at a certain point in his life, W. Clement Stone was the shrewd businessman who helped Napoleon Hill focus on what Napoleon Hill did best, which is doing his writings and his teachings and giving his lectures, while W. Clement Stone kind of handled the business side of things on the other side of the situation. And one of the things that famously W. Clement Stone would say to himself every single day, and this was he would incant this, his incantations, meaning things that he would say to himself over and over again, was do it now, do it now, do it now. He would just say that to himself over and over again every single day. This is an auto-suggestion, i.e. a suggestion that you make to yourself. That's all it is, auto-suggestion. He would give to himself every single day. And I explain this, and I actually make you do this for yourself in my book, The Mental Workbook, which if you're watching this on video, you look right over my left shoulder. You see that bright red book right there at the top of the shelf? That is the Mental Workbook. You can get that as part of the Mental Game Advanced Bundle or the Mental Game Super Duper Bundle, and either one of the web pages, the thirddaybook.com or mirrorofmotivation.com. So you go get either one of these books. I'm going to make you an offer to also get the Mental Workbook in the process of getting either one of these right here, which both I offer for free. The links are down below in the show notes. So the Mental Workbook explains to you how to use auto-suggestion. So the same way W. Clement Stone conditioned himself to do it now, and he became a very prominent and very successful businessman, you can condition yourself to do whatever you want to do. And doing it now should be one of those things you condition yourself to do, because it's the first point in today's episode in getting started. Because you can't finish anything until you start. W. Clement Stone, when he told himself to do it now, what was he doing? He was conditioning himself to move himself to action and also to avoid delay. And avoiding delay, doing things now, is a key principle of success that separates a lot of success from failure. It is simply your ability to stimulate yourself to action. And if you really think about it in your life, and you think about the people who you know and the people that you see, you might not even know them, but the people that you see, the most successful people, one of the skills that they seem to all have in common, the more successful versus the less successful, the more successful people have the ability to move themselves to action, whereas the less successful people, they just seem to lack this ability. They can't move themselves to action as quickly, as consistently, or as fervently to action as a successful person does. And this is a pattern that you'll see over and over again. The more successful the person, the more easily they are able to move themselves to action, the more consistently they take action, and the less procrastination for action. And again, don't take my word for it. Look around at the most successful people who you know. Look around the most unsuccessful people who you know, and note the difference in just this aspect. How often and how consistently can they move themselves? How consistently do they move themselves to action? Because we don't know what they're thinking. They might not be thinking about taking action, so they're sitting down doing nothing. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. But how consistently do you see this person moving themselves to action, turning potential energy into kinetic energy? How often do you see unsuccessful people doing that? They don't do it too often. That's why they're unsuccessful. It has nothing to do with their talent or the opportunity given to them or where they're from or whether they're male or female or how they identify themselves gender-wise or sexually. It has nothing to do with any of that, or their color or their nationality or who their parents were. None of that bullshit that people have been trying to sell you. What it's about is how willingly and how consistently and how fervently they can move themselves to action. Now, forget about other people. Look at you. How often can you move yourself to action? How consistently do you move yourself to action? Because forget about what you can do, because nobody gets paid for potential unless you get drafted into the NBA or NFL. They get paid for potential. Everybody else, we got to produce results. How often do you move yourself to action? How consistently do you take action, specifically on the things that matter most to you? How much energy goes behind those actions that you take? And how consistent are you in that energy? I wrote a book about that. It's called The Third Day. You can get it at thirddaybook.com. W. Clement Stone conditioned himself to move himself to action and not delay. And this is a key principle that separated success from failure for him, and is a key principle that will separate success from failure for you. And if you look at your own life and your own career, your own anything, the times when you were successful, it was because, for whatever reason, you were activating yourself to action. And the times when you failed, for whatever reason, you were deactivating yourself from action and not taking action. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me about a time when you deactivated yourself from action and did nothing and you were successful. You probably can't name one. Now, is it possible there are times you will move yourself to action and still not succeed? Yes. Yes, there is. Moving yourself to action is not a guarantee of success, but not moving yourself to action is a guarantee of failure. So do you understand if you just do the probability on that, you're better off taking action because you at least put yourself in the running to be successful. Got it? What separates success from failure is your ability to stimulate action. Now, I understand because right now you still have the same objection to action that you had before this episode started, which is what? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it, Dre. That's the reason why I haven't gotten started. Not because I don't want to take action, Dre. It's just that I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. There is some risk involved, and I want to make sure I mitigate the risk. I don't even know what the end game is going to look like if I was to start doing this thing. You can't see the finish line from the starting line that you're standing at right now. Listen, I get these text messages every day. I get these comments. I get these DMs. I get these emails every single day of people telling me exactly what I just told you. So I know what I'm talking about because I hear from you every day. Even if it's not you personally, I know it. Here's my answer to all of that. I accept that you're correct, that you don't know, that there's risk, that you can't see the finish line from where you are right now. Here's my answer. Do it now. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is how to start. The 10% rule of information and action. If you don't know that there is a 10% rule of information or action, okay, I'll accept that you don't know because I made it up. I actually detailed it in episode 1429, 2 years ago. I detailed this. Again, it's episode 1429. Link is down below in the show notes. What does it mean? It's a very simple rule. You don't even have to listen to the episode. I'll tell you the rule. But if you want detail, go listen to the episode. Here it is. You only need 10% of the information to get started. That's the rule. That's the whole rule. Anything that you want to do in life, to get started, just to start. I didn't say to finish. I didn't even say to be successful. I didn't say you're going to make any money. All I'm saying is to get started, you only need 10% of the information. If you have 10% of the information, you need to get started right now. That's it. Now, if there's anyone listening to me right now who wants to do something, you want to do X, and you feel like you have less than 10% of the information, I want you to text me. I want you to tell me what it is that you want to do, and I will reply to you and text you and tell you 10% of the information on that very thing. I don't care what it is. I will give you 10% of the information so that you can get started. So any of you who feels like you have less than 10%, text me what the thing is you want to do and let me know, Dre, I have less than 10% of the information, so I don't know what to do. I will answer you and I will give you 10% of the information in a text message so that you can get started. So now there is no one listen to me right now who has the excuse of not getting started because I just gave you the 10% rule. The 10% rule should be the end all be all to any possible procrastination that exists on the planet. I just ended procrastination. I just canceled procrastination. I solved procrastination. All right, where's my trophy? I should get a Nobel Prize for ending procrastination if everyone in the world would just follow the 10% rule. That's it. So anybody who knows somebody on one of those award committees, drop my name. You don't need to know everything to get started. As a matter of fact, if you think you need to know everything to get started, you have created a false excuse to do nothing and to procrastinate forever because it's impossible for you to know everything. Because there are parts of that everything that you don't even know that you don't know. So even if you went and got everything, there's still pieces that you don't even know that you're missing. All right, you really only got 90%. The 10% you don't even know that you're missing, but you'll never know about it until you take action. So any of you who's thinking, I need to know everything before I get started, understand you will never start anything and you are setting yourself up to be a failure in life. So don't try to know everything to get started. If you know at least 10%, you should have already started. If knowing everything is your reasoning, that I can't start till I know everything, all right, you will never achieve much in your life. And if you look at the things you have achieved, you didn't know everything when you got started, you just started. Most of the time, you weren't even trying to know 10%. You just said, I want to do this, and you just start doing stuff, and then you started figuring it out. Most of the successful people I know, that's what they did. Doesn't mean they went blind the entire time. They got information as they did things. We call it activity knowledge. You only need 10% of information to get started. You get the rest as you go. All right, everybody got that? Is that a simple enough concept? The information that you have at the end of the journey, or that you will have at the end of your journey when you get to the finish line, that information doesn't even exist right now. You follow what I'm saying to you? What I'm saying to you is this. You only need 10% of information to get started. If you think you need 100%, you're like, Dre, I don't know if I want to start. I don't have 100% of information. Understand that only 85% of the information that you need to complete the mission exists right now. The other 15% that you need doesn't even exist right now today. It won't exist until 2 years from now when you get to the finish line. So if you need to know everything before you get started, you're setting yourself up for an impossibility. You will fail. Just start. New information is going to emerge. When I wanted to play overseas basketball coming out of Division III college, I didn't have the information on what to do or where to go. I just started. I said, all right, how do I get on a pro basketball team? Well, I probably need to try out because they don't know who I am. So let me go find a tryout. I did that. Did that work? No. All right, let me go do something else. Let me go to a different tryout. That didn't work. Let me go to some open event. That didn't really work. Okay, let me just wait by the phone and see if somebody calls me. That didn't work either. I said, okay, well, I need to get a job now because I'm back at home. My parents are like, you need to get a job. You don't have a job playing ball. You need to get a job doing something. Got a couple jobs. And I kept looking. I said, all right, here's the other thing I can do. Here's another idea. Let me try an exposure camp. Is that going to work? I don't know. Let me find an exposure camp. Found an exposure camp. How much does it cost? $250. Do I have it? No. All right, let me save up the money. Now I got it. Let me go to this exposure camp. How do I get there? It's in Orlando. I live in Philadelphia. All right, let me rent a car. Rented a car. Got down to Orlando. $250. You have a credit or debit card? No. You have a checking account? No. Can I pay in cash? Yes. Paid it in cash at the front door. Had 2 days to save my career. Played there for 2 days. Did my thing. Got a scouting report. Got video footage from that camp. Did somebody sign me to a contract right there at the camp? No. I went back home. Went back to that 9-to-5 job that I had. But now I started calling agents. I said, all right, maybe an agent can help me get on. So because the tryouts didn't do it, the open events didn't do it, the exposure camp, I did good at the exposure camp, but I did not get signed to a contract at the exposure camp. I went back to my job at Valley Total Fitness selling gym memberships. But now I have some collateral. So now I start calling agents. Maybe an agent can help. Is an agent going to do it? I don't know. Let's find out. Again, I'm building this information as I'm going along. Okay, let me call agents. I start calling every agent. I called agents, say, hey, here's who I am, here's what I got. It says, send me your footage. All right, how do I send them a footage? Does YouTube exist? No. So what I had to do was go make copies of a VHS tape. And those of you who don't know what a VHS tape is, Google it. I had to make copies of a VHS tape, physical copies, and physically mail my video to a whole bunch of agents who asked to see it. Was I getting paid to do this? No. Was I sure any of them was even going to be interested? No. Were many of them interested? No. One of them was interested. One of those agents signed me to a contract. Did that get me signed to an overseas contract? No, I was signed to the agent. I was not signed to a contract to play basketball. So I had an agent, but I was working at Valley Total Fitness. All right, that was the situation. This really happened. Now, can this agent help me get on overseas? Is he going to get me a contract? I don't know. Let's see. So the agent started working on my behalf. The agent knew people that I didn't know. The agent made calls. He would tell me, I'm talking to this person, this person. He talked to me once a week. Stay in shape. Keep working out. Something's going to break, but you guys just got to give me time. All right, did that get me a contract? Him telling me that? No. I kept working at Valley Total Fitness. Was anything going to happen at this point? I don't know. But I have an agent. Let's see if this is going to work out. Finally, the agent called me. Said, I got a team in Lithuania that's interested in signing you. You want to play? Yes. I got a contract. Now understand something. Me telling you that story now that I went through it sounds great, but I didn't know how any of that was going to work out. That whole situation from the time I graduated to the time I signed a contract was a 15-month process. 15 months doesn't sound like a long time when you know what the result is at the end of the 15 months, but when you have no idea if you're even going to get the results, 15 months is a very long time. All right, how many things would you be willing to do for 15 months if you didn't know you were going to get a result from it? The point is, all of those things that I did, I had no idea if any of them was going to work until they worked. And many of them did not work. Many of them were only stepping stones to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And it was only one last thing that quote unquote worked. All the other things were just steps in the process to make it work. Nowadays though, I can take that whole process that I went through. I can take out all the stuff that doesn't work. I can take the stuff that does work. I can codify it, make a framework and process out of it, and I can package it and give it to other players so that they don't have to go through all the stuff that I went through to get the same result. That's why I wrote a series of books called the Overseas Blueprint Bundle. Overseas Basketball Blueprint. I wrote a book on agents, a book on exposure camps, and a book on the business side of the game. I just explained all of those to you in 3 minutes right there. And if you look over my shoulder, you see those books that are all different colors there. You see the Overseas Basketball Blueprint right over my left shoulder, that blue book, and all those yellow and orange books next to them. Those are Overseas Basketball Blueprint Bundle books. There are 4 books, all detailing exactly how to do, without the missteps, everything that I had to do in order to get on, because I didn't have the information. Now I give the game back to people who need to know the same thing that nobody told me. Now I can tell you, so it should take you half the time that it took me. That's how the 10% rule works. The information that you have at the end of the journey does not even exist today, so you got to get started now. Point number 3. Topic once again today is how to start. Starve fear and doubt of their favorite food. Now, nobody here likes to feel fearful. I don't think many of you like to feel fear. Maybe you have felt it, but you don't want to feel it. I don't think any of you wants to doubt yourself, because when you doubt yourself, it usually slows you down. It keeps you from taking action. It leads to procrastination, and for the most part, it leads to failure. You're doubting something doesn't mean it's going to fail. Is that you're already predicting failure in your own mind. So what slows you down from taking action, because you think it's going to fail anyway, so why do anything? So you don't want to feel fear, and you don't want to feel doubt, right? So let me tell you what fear and doubt feed on. All right, their favorite food. I'm going to tell you what their favorite food is, and you're going to deconstruct this idea, and I'm going to help deconstruct it for you. And with one simple step, you're going to not give them this food. Okay, everybody got that? Fear and doubt, you don't like those, right? All right, so I'm gonna tell you what not to give them so that they can't get bigger and stronger in your own mind and don't stop you from taking action, okay? Here's the number one thing that fear and doubt feed on: time. Fear and doubt, when they exist in your mind, the number one thing that they like to eat is time. So anytime you're feeling fearful or anytime you are doubting yourself, the worst thing you can do that will exacerbate your feelings of fear and doubt is to put time into the situation. When you are afraid of something and you give time to thinking about it, what happens? You get more and more afraid of it to the point that you will never go near it, even though nothing is actually happening. Fear is just a thought. Fear is not a real thing. Fear is a thought, is an imagination in your mind. False, what is it called? False something appearing real, whatever that E stands for. That's what fear is. Fear is not a real thing. Doubt, same thing. When you doubt yourself, when you doubt a situation is going to work out, when you doubt something is the best course of action to take, and then you don't do anything and you give it time and you just think about it more and more and more, now what happens? You just doubt yourself even more. You slow yourself down even further. So what I'm telling you to do here is to stop giving time to fear and doubt. Whenever you feel fearful and doubtful, what you need to do is not do less, you need to do more. You need to go take action so that fear and doubt can be starved, and it will die out from starvation because you're not feeding it time. If you're asking the question on how do I get started on doing XYZ, I'm going to assume that the thing that you're doing is either something that's new for you or something that you haven't done in a while. So maybe you're feeling a little bit of trepidation, you're feeling a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of uncertainty about the situation because you don't know what to do or how to do it. Understand that fear and doubt will creep in the more you slow yourself down. Fear and doubt creep in when you're doing nothing. It's hard to feel fearful and doubtful when you're in action. When you're in motion and you're doing stuff and you're working off of kinetic energy, you don't really feel fear and doubt. Doesn't mean they don't exist, but it's hard for them to really gain prominent space in your mind. They don't gain prominent floor space in your mind when you're in action. You usually feel fear and doubt when you're in inaction, in a state of listlessness and doing nothing. So keep moving. When fear and doubt creep in, you start second guessing yourself. And before you know it, 7 weeks have gone by, 2 years have gone by, and you've done absolutely nothing on that bright idea that you once had. Does this sound familiar to anybody? So here's how you prevent this from happening again. Don't give them time. So the very first point that we talked about here today. Do something now that commits you to the thing that you're thinking about doing. Take an action that commits you. Take an action that moves you in the direction of what you want. This creates momentum. It staves off fear and doubt. And that action commits you and also points you in a certain direction because you took a step in the direction in which you want to go. Now you've gotten started. Now you're ahead of 99% of the population of people who think about stuff and they write stuff down and they plan it out and they have all these great ideas, but they never actually take a step forward. They never actually take action on the thing. Now you're different from them. So you already put yourself in the 50th percentile for possibility of success because you actually did something and not just thought about it. Let's recap today's class, which is how to start. This is for anyone, which is everyone, who needs or wants to get to taking action but hasn't actually started yet. Point number 1, do it now. W. Clement Stone would say this to himself every single day. The simple 3-word phrase, do it now. This is an auto-suggestion. I explain this in the mental workbook. You are conditioning yourself to move yourself to action and to stop delaying. Delay is a key, or avoiding delay, stomping out delay, is a key principle that separates a success from a failure. Your ability to stimulate yourself to action. I know that you don't know how to do it. I know there is risk. I know there's a lot of things that you would like to know before you get started. I'm telling you, I understand. I'm telling you, do it now anyway. Point number 2. 10% rule of information and action as outlined in episode 1429. You do not need to know everything in order to get started. It's impossible to know everything when you're getting started. All right, this is your reasoning. You will never do anything. You only need 10% of the information. Most of the information that you're going to need in the long run doesn't even exist yet. So if you're waiting for all of it, it is impossible. You'll never get it. Do it anyway. Point number 3, starve fear and doubt of their favorite food, which is time. If you are asking how to get started on something, I'm assuming you're either doing something new or something you haven't done in a while. So of course you feel trepidation, and this is where fear and doubt like to creep in. When you are feeling nervous, fear and doubt like to creep in through the back door, and the more time you give them, the stronger they get. So before you know it, and before you know it rather, 7 weeks gone by, you've done absolutely nothing. So here's how to prevent this. Starve them of their favorite food, which is time. Do something now that commits you. 3 things happen. You create momentum, number 1. You stave off fear and doubt, number 2. And you are pointing yourself into a certain direction of where you actually want to go, number 3. All this said, make sure you text me to get my daily motivation every day. And if you want to be a member of one of my coaching programs, I have a one-on-one program and I have a group coaching program. In both, you will be on live calls with me. We will train. You will get training. You will get coaching on the things that you most need for your business, for your mindset, for your strategy, for your execution, for your mental game, and for the accountability to make sure you do the stuff that you know you're supposed to be doing, like getting started right now. Take a look at both programs, the Bulletproof Mastermind for group, Third Day Mastermind for one-on-one. Both of those are available at workonyourgameuniversity.com. The link is below in the show notes. Work on your game. Dre all day.